This video, I want to take a look at deposits when you're buying a property. What is the position about getting a deposit back? When does it become unattainable? When is it forfeited? So let's take a look. Firstly, you need to remember that there are two types of deposit. One is a booking deposit. The other is the contract deposit. Booking deposit is a payment that you make to the auctioneer. And this is essentially an indication of your willingness to buy the house at a particular price. But the booking deposit is fully refundable. The auctioneer should be licensed and bonded or licensed with a professional body. So there's a bond or an insurance fund there, or a sort of an insurance or bond scheme, that even if in the worst case scenario an auctioneer somehow went out of business or something, you're still entitled to get your deposit back, and it is bonded. So you really shouldn't have any real concerns about getting a booking deposit back from an auctioneer. You can change your mind about a particular property for good reason, bad reason, or no reason. So it's paid to the auctioneer, and it's fully refundable if you change your mind or if you're unable to proceed for whatever reason. Contract deposit then is a different animal. It's paid when you sign and return the contracts for sale. It's typically 10% of the purchase price. So if the purchase price of the house, for example, that you're buying is 200,000, then the contract deposit will be 10% of that. That's 20,000. You may already have paid a booking deposit of 5,000 to the auctioneer. Therefore, the contract deposit that you have to pay when you sign the contract will be 15,000. That is 20 grand less 5 grand. The contract deposit will be gone. You will forfeit it if you are unable to complete the sale, unless, however, your solicitor has made the contract subject to finance. And quite frankly, nowadays in 2017, most residential purchases, most residential contracts will have a subject to finance clause in them. That basically means that if the bank doesn't come through with the money, then you are off the hook. You will get your money back and the deal will not go ahead. However, that's assuming that there's a subject to finance clause in the contract. If you were foolish enough to sign a contract and not get finance, well, then you could be in a difficult position because you never had any finance in place to begin with. But by and large, if there is a subject to finance clause in the contract, and your solicitor, when acting for a purchaser, will look for this to be inserted, well, then you will get your deposit back. In other circumstances, though, if for whatever reason the vendor solicitor doesn't agree with putting that clause in, then you do run the risk of losing your contract deposit if you are unable to complete the transaction. So if you're unable to complete the transaction, the vendor will serve you with a notice to complete. And if you're unable to complete then within the specified time frame, you'll forfeit your deposit and the vendor will have rescinded the contract. He can also sue you for consequential damages arising from your failure to complete the transaction. So these are damages or costs that arise directly as a result or a consequence of your failure to complete. However, if it's subject to finance, then you may well be okay. Buying at auction, on the other hand, will not be a subject to finance situation. It will not be a subject to finance contract. You must do your due diligence before you go to the contract or before you go to the auction. And there's no booking deposit. You'll sign the contract and you pay 10% deposit there and then, and it will not be accepted to insert a subject to finance clause in that contract. So if you cannot complete, you will forfeit your deposit. So do your research very carefully before auction and be absolutely certain that you want to purchase that property and that the legal title, all of the legal documents, planning, etc. is in order. My name is Terry Gorry. I am a solicitor in Enfield in County Meath. If you find this video useful, you might give it a thumbs up down below, and you might be interested in subscribing to my YouTube channel. I have a lot of videos on my YouTube channel about all aspects of Irish law, including quite a lot about Irish property law.